Under Africa's relentless sun, where dry grass ripples like a golden ocean and heat shimmers along the horizon, an almost unreal figure comes into view. Slim and lightweight, built from coiled muscle and unyielding focus. His name is Mr. D. Across the vast savannah, he is known as the young phantom, the living bolt of lightning. He does not rely on darkness to hide. His weapon is not mystery, but absolute speed, with long legs slicing through the air like moving spears, a streamlined torso, and a tail that functions as a flawless rudder. He can surge to nearly 100 kilometers per hour in just 3 seconds. In a single heartbeat, nature unveils one of its most extreme designs, a hunter that is pure energy, given form. On this day, a herd of wildebeest grazed calmly in a low valley. Red dust drifted on the wind, birds circled overhead, and the plains rested in quiet balance. Unseen, a rare alliance was taking shape. A small group of cheetahs, predators that usually hunt alone, had formed a temporary coalition. At their center was Mr. D, leading with unwavering focus, his golden eyes sharp and unforgiving. They advanced through the tall grass like living shadows, tightening the circle with flawless precision. Every step was deliberate, every angle chosen with care, as if the land itself had drawn the plan. From both sides, escape routes disappeared. The air grew heavy, tense, almost suffocating. Then, in a single instant, the calm shattered. Dust exploded, muscles ignited, the lightning was released. The coalition surged forward like a sudden storm. The wildebeest scattered in panic, but it was already too late. Within seconds, the chosen target was brought down, overwhelmed by the perfectly timed force of the cheetah's attack. Moments earlier, filled with motion and sound, the valley slipped back into stillness. The predators gathered around their kill, sharing the reward of their precision and endurance. This was more than nourishment. It was an ancient ritual, a silent bond shaped by instinct, one that sustains life in one of the most unforgiving environments on Earth. But in Africa, the rhythm of life never truly pauses, and the ghost of speed had not finished its run. Far across the open plains, a herd of zebras moved as a single unit, advancing with the discipline of a well-ordered formation. Their strength lay in unity. Tight ranks and striped bodies blended into a shifting pattern, designed to confuse any watching hunter. Yet even the strongest defense can falter. One distracted individual drifted away, slipping beyond the protective barrier of the herd, and in doing so, revealed a fatal weakness. Mr. D's eyes locked onto the target. In that instant, the vast savannah faded away, leaving only a single, isolated figure in his focus. The distance began to collapse, 100 meters, 80, 50. Each stride struck like a measured beat in a deadly score. The wind seemed to pause. The sun burned harsher overhead. For a brief moment, the entire savannah appeared to hold its breath, poised on the edge of an inevitable fate. With only 20 meters remaining, the lightning was unleashed once more. Mr. D erupted into a devastating sprint. His claws tore into the ground, sending clouds of red dust into the air as the thunder of movement ripped through the silence. Panic exploded across the herd. Bodies collided. Hooves pounded the earth. Alarm calls shattered the calm. But the moment for escape had already passed. Within seconds, the chosen zebra was brought down. The turmoil faded like smoke in the wind, and the savannah slipped back into its timeless quiet, as if the hunt had never taken place. One life gone, another shadow added to the unbroken cycle of survival. This is the law of Africa, swift, unforgiving, and exact. And across the endless horizons of dust and heat, Mr. D keeps running, a living bolt of lightning, forever in motion. The African sun burns without mercy over the endless plains of the Serengeti. Dry grass ripples like a golden sea, broken only by dust and wind. From the horizon, a living tide begins to rise, hundreds of thousands of zebras moving in an unbroken line, forming a black and white wave that rolls across the vast savanna with hypnotic force. The ground trembles beneath their hooves. Every step beats like a drum in the timeless rhythm of the wild. Behind them follow more than 1 million wildebeest and hundreds of thousands of gazelles. Together, they form the largest and most demanding migration on Earth. This journey is not chosen by desire, but by necessity. Drought scorches the land, grass withers, water vanishes. To remain is to die. To move is the only chance to live. The zebras lead the way. Their powerful legs strike the cracked earth, lifting clouds of red dust that stain the sky. Each animal is a living work of art. Their stripes are not only beautiful, they are protection. When the herd advances as one, the black and white patterns merge into a shifting illusion that confuses even the most skilled predators. Above them, vultures glide with wings outstretched, drawing slow circles in the blue sky. They do not hunt, they wait. Among so many bodies, some will fall from exhaustion, others beneath the claws of hunters. For the vultures, death is opportunity. And hidden within the tall grass, the true masters of silence watch. Golden eyes, sharp and unblinking, track every movement of the herd. Lions wait with infinite patience, searching for the weak link, the one that stumbles, the one that drifts away from the living shield of unity. One moment is enough. A zebra loses pace, and the tragedy unfolds. A roar erupts. Bodies surge forward. The earth shakes beneath the stampede. Red dust, pounding hooves, muffled cries. Within seconds, a life is extinguished beneath powerful paws. Then, as if nothing happened, silence returns. The lions feed together in a quiet ritual that has defined the savannah for millennia. But the journey does not stop. The striped tide moves on, unstoppable. After days of relentless travel, the horizon reveals the greatest trial of all the Mara River. a ruthless boundary between survival and death. Its muddy, fast-moving waters conceal Africa's silent executioners, massive Nile crocodiles waiting patiently below the surface. Zebras gather at the riverbank. Fear is tangible, muscles tense, eyes fixed on the brown water, hiding unseen danger. Those behind push forward. The pressure builds. Time runs out. Then one brave animal leaps first, breaking the grip of terror. In an instant, thousands follow. The river erupts in foam and chaos. Zebras swim desperately, legs churning, heads held high to stay afloat. This is no simple crossing. It is a direct confrontation with death. A sudden splash, a violent twist, and one body is dragged under. The crocodiles claim their toll. Cries dissolve into the rushing current. Still, the herd presses on, one by one. Survivors reach the far bank, exhausted, trembling, but alive. They flee without looking back, escaping the shadow of the river. The water settles once more. Crocodiles sink into silence. Above, vultures descend to claim what remains. For those that survive, a reward lies ahead. Lush green pastures and a fresh beginning. With abundance comes renewal. The mating season begins. Males clash fiercely, hooves striking the ground, teeth bared, bodies colliding with raw intensity. There is no mercy and no retreat. Only strength earns the right to pass on blood and legacy. The victor stands tall, ruler of territory and future. The defeated fades into the margins, left behind. And so, generation after generation, zebras carve the same story into the land struggle, journey, survival, a cycle without end, as old as the earth itself. The striped tide moves onward, Africa's eternal traveler, carrying with every step the unchanging echo of wild life. In the Arctic highlands, where the horizon stretches without end and the wind slices across the land like unseen blades, an ancient giant still endures. The muskox is a living remnant of the last ice age, a survivor shaped by cold, hunger, and relentless predators. It moves across the frozen world like an echo from a distant past, carrying the strength of a time long gone. During the brief Arctic summer, the tundra transforms. Patches of green spread across the rocky ground, and tiny flowers push through the soil in a short-lived explosion of life. In this narrow window of abundance, musk oxen feed without pause, grazing on lichens, grasses, and mosses, fully aware that plenty will not last. Among them walks a young calf, close to its mother's side, its wide eyes filled with curiosity. To the calf, the world still feels gentle and safe, unaware that danger often hides beneath the brightest days. As the snow retreats, the hunters awaken. On a distant rise, 4 pale shapes emerge against the landscape. Arctic wolves, cloaked in ivory white fur, blend almost perfectly with the frozen terrain. They move with quiet confidence, ears alert, crystal-cold eyes scanning the herd, noses reading the wind for hidden signals. They are patience made flesh. There is no need to rush. They know that sooner or later, the herd will falter, and when it does, opportunity will appear. A single howl, soft as a breath, shatters the stillness. The wolves fan out, shaping a silent arc around the muskoxen. The tension is instant and unmistakable. The massive animals draw together, forming a living barrier of muscle and horn. Yet survival here allows no mistakes. One misstep, one young animal drifting too far from the group, is enough for fate to strike. A wolf surges forward with sudden speed, and within moments, the calf is brought down. The moment passes quickly. In the Arctic summer short, intense, and unforgiving, every life lost becomes another life sustained. The bright days fade almost as soon as they arrive. The midnight sun slips away, and the tundra is swallowed once more by an endless blanket of white. December settles in, and temperatures plunge beyond human imagination, dropping to 60 degrees below zero. The land empties of movement. Birds vanish. Insects disappear. What remains is silence, snow, and an unrelenting wind. In this frozen stillness, the musk oxen endure like ancient sentinels. The dominant male leads the way, his curved horns gleaming like forged steel, each step carving deep impressions into the hardened snow. Behind him, females and young follow in a steady line, wrapped in a remarkable double-layered coat. The outer layer, coarse and rugged, shields them from cutting winds. Beneath it lies Shiviut, softer than cashmere, yet stronger than steel by nature's design. This living armor is the reason they remain, surviving where other giants of the Ice Age were lost to time. Yet even these giants of the tundra are not invincible. When the wind howls with full force and snowstorms erase every trace of the land, they rely on the one strategy that has preserved them for thousands of years: unity. In moments, the herd forms a defensive circle. The calves are sheltered at the center, adults facing outward, horns lowered and ready. What emerges is a living fortress, standing firm against the raw power of nature itself. For hours, sometimes through entire nights, they remain motionless as snow piles high upon their backs. Each animal endures the weight, every muscle resisting the numbing cold. When the storm finally loosens its grip, dawn arrives with a pale blue light. The herd stirs, shaking hardened ice from their coats, and resumes its journey as if the trial had never occurred. They move steadily onward, searching for nourishment hidden beneath the frozen surface. With powerful hooves, they scrape through snow and ice to uncover lichens, the lifeline that sustains them through the darkest months. Every mouthful is a small victory in a quiet, relentless battle against winter. The muskox has no claws, no fangs. It does not rely on speed like a cheetah, nor stealth like a panther. Its strength lies elsewhere: endurance, cooperation, and an unbreakable will to persist. With every step, it carries the memory of a frozen world of ancient struggles, vanished predators, and ages when survival balanced on the edge of ice. And still, it walks on, unyielding warrior, living echo of the Ice Age, guardian of the tundra. Its story is not shouted, it is written softly across the snow. And each winter, as storms return, the muskox proves that some creatures are still capable of defying the impossible. At the far edge of the planet, where ice rules the horizon and the wind cries like an endless lament, a predator shaped by silence endures the Arctic wolf. It is the pale shadow of the tundra, a tireless hunter, master of a realm where the cold can end life in minutes. The land appears lifeless, a frozen expanse stretching beyond sight. Yet to these wolves, it is rich with meaning. Every gust of wind carries hidden signals. Every track pressed into the snow tells a story. They move together, close and coordinated, nearly invisible against the white ground. Their thick, ivory coats blend seamlessly with the ice, turning them into drifting spirits amid the snowstorms. Their eyes, a piercing frost yellow, scan the distance with unwavering focus. These are patient tacticians, capable of trailing herds of musk oxen for days without slowing. Hunger does not weaken them, it sharpens their resolve. As dawn washes the horizon in cold blue light, the hunt begins. The wolves fan out, forming a wide arc. They do not rush. They watch, assess, and measure the strength of their quarry. Then the leader, a seasoned male, marked by years of survival, signals the moment. A deep howl cuts through the frozen air, breaking the stillness like thunder. The musk oxen respond instantly. Adults form a tight defensive ring, sheltering the calves within. Heads lower, horns outward, they brace for impact. The tundra seems to hold its breath as two forces collide, endurance against intelligence. The wolves remain patient. They circle, probing for weakness, forcing movement, testing resolve. Minutes stretch into hours. The cold is irrelevant. Time itself becomes their ally. Eventually, the balance shifts. A younger animal stumbles, slipping beyond the safety of the group. In a flash of white, the opportunity is seized. Moments later, the plain falls quiet once more. The pack gathers without ceremony. There are no roars, no triumph, only purpose. In the Arctic, survival is never excess. It is simply necessity, a continuation of an ancient cycle where one life sustains another. But winter here is unforgiving and long. Food is scarce, and every success is temporary. The wolves travel vast distances, pushing through blizzards that turn day into night. They move in single file, their tracks erased almost instantly by the wind. Their strength lies not in raw power, but in unity, in discipline, cooperation, and unwavering loyalty. When storms intensify, they seek shelter together, bodies pressed close, sharing warmth against the relentless cold. Hearts beat side by side beneath the icebound world. No matter how fierce the storm, they wait for morning, and when it comes, they hunt again. The Arctic wolf is more than a predator. It is a symbol of survival at the edge of existence. Where others fall, it endures. Where isolation destroys, the pack becomes strength. Each howl rising into the frozen sky is a reminder that even in the deepest silence, life persists. So, generation after generation, the white wolves continue to reign over the tundra's silent hunters, ice-bound warriors, spirits of the north. In a land where snow never fully melts and mercy is rare, their footsteps write an unchanging truth. Survival belongs not to the strongest or the fastest, but to those who can endure, wait, and strike with perfect precision. Across the blazing expanse of the African savanna, where the horizon rolls like a sea of golden grass and the air shimmers beneath the weight of the sun, a figure emerges that seems delicate at first glance, yet carries an ancient strength. This is the ostrich, the largest bird on Earth, a wingless warrior shaped by survival in one of the planet's harshest landscapes. Its silhouette rises above the plains, towering up to 2.5 meters tall, supported by long, powerful legs built to carry a body weighing as much as 150 kilograms. Flight is beyond its reach, but it is unnecessary. The ostrich's small wings serve as stabilizers, helping it sprint with the balance of a master runner. At full speed, it can reach up to 70 kilometers per hour, outrunning every threat on the savanna except the cheetah. Its enormous eyes, nearly 5 centimeters across, act as living radars, spotting danger from hundreds of meters away. On these open plains, seeing first often means surviving. Ostriches are not solitary creatures. They move in small groups, typically guided by a dominant male and several females. Together, they forage for seeds, grasses, fallen fruits, and insects. Within this calm routine, the rhythm of life is maintained. Yet in the savannah, tranquility is always temporary. Where life flourishes, danger is never far. As evening approaches, a group of ostriches crosses a sandy clearing. Their strides are long and measured. The dominant male lifts his neck high, scanning the distance. Every shadow could conceal a predator. Every pause in sound could signal danger. But in this moment, fear gives way to something stronger, the instinct to create new life. Breeding season has arrived. Beneath the amber glow of dusk, a female scrapes a shallow nest into the dry earth. One by one, she lays her eggs massive, stone-like, with hard, pale shells. At night, the male spreads his wings and settles over the nest, becoming a living shield. By day, the female takes his place. Together, they guard the fragile lives developing within, fully aware that each egg is a prized target for predators. From nearby rises, African wild dogs sense an opportunity. They move quietly, their mottled coats blending into the grass. The female notices them and responds with an ancient strategy. She runs away from the nest, flapping her wings, kicking up dust, and calling sharply to draw attention. But the hunters are focused. One breaks away and charges toward the nest, managing to seize an egg and drag it off before retreating. When the disturbance fades, silence returns. The nest remains, diminished but not destroyed. Beneath the warm sand, the surviving eggs begin to crack. After more than 40 days, the moment has come. Small beaks push outward, breaking free. Within hours, downy chicks emerge, unsteady but alive, under the watchful eyes of their parents. Life begins anew. The chicks, tiny and vulnerable, learn to peck at the ground, to recognize safe food, and to avoid danger. Guided closely by adults, they grow quickly. Within weeks, they are strong enough to keep pace with the group, their legs already built for endurance. Yet the savannah offers no mercy. Each generation faces relentless trials, predators hidden in tall grass, droughts that strip the land of food, long journeys in search of water. The ostrich meets these challenges with a single advantage: endurance. It does not hunt, does not burrow, and wields no claws or fangs. Its strength lies in speed, awareness, and collective defense. And so, the wingless warrior endures, crossing centuries of change, surviving where many giants have vanished. It may appear exposed, even fragile, but beneath every feather pulses the resilient spirit of the savannah. Amid dust, heat, and endless sky, the ostrich continues its story, a silent fighter, a steadfast guardian, a creature that learned to master the open plains without ever taking flight. Deep within the tropical rainforest, where dim light barely reaches the forest floor and moisture seems to rise from the earth itself, a presence emerges that feels more like legend than reality. Known as the Black Panther, it is rarely seen, and those who encounter it often describe the moment as otherworldly. If the cheetah represents speed on the savannah and the jaguar embodies power in the Amazon, the Black Panther is the living essence of darkness, silent, elusive, and unseen. Among hanging vines and moss-covered trees, a shadow glides like drifting smoke. It moves without sound, without disturbance, leaving no trace of its passage. Its motion is so fluid that it appears and disappears almost instantly, as if shaped by the jungle itself. As it advances, the forest seems to pause, suspended in quiet anticipation. The black panther is not a separate species, but a rare jaguar, Panthera onca, born with a genetic trait that gives it a coat as dark as night. In low light, this coloration renders it nearly invisible, reinforcing its reputation as a phantom of the rainforest. Under certain angles of sunlight, faint rosettes can still be seen beneath the dark fur, subtle reminders of its true identity. Its body, refined by millions of years of evolution, is built for strength and control. Nearly 2 meters long and weighing over 100 kilograms, it combines muscular power with remarkable balance. Its limbs are strong and precise, its claws and jaws designed for efficiency rather than spectacle. Keen eyes scan the shadows, ears detect the slightest movement, and a highly sensitive nose interprets information carried invisibly through the air. Unlike predators that rely on speed or display, the black panther's greatest advantage is stealth. The rainforest itself becomes its partner. Dense vegetation, shifting light, and natural silence work together to conceal its presence. Here, patience is power. On one particular morning,